Hi, my name is Sono Jono, and today I won't be reviewing any gear. However, I felt compelled to share with you my bass acquisitions throughout 2022 and share some photos and a summarized review of these instruments as I go over them. Now, some I have reviewed on this channel and a lot I have not, other than cover songs I posted on TikTok, which I'll be highlighting in this video. Starting off, this was an insane deal that I came up off of Reverb, and this was at a local Sam Ash in the city of Westminster, California. Let's do a little story time. When I saw this listing for the price I saw it for, I automatically called up the Sam Ash to ask if they could hold it for me so I can pick it up in person and purchase it. So the store owner was cool, laid it aside. I drive over there. Lo and behold, the bass is there. I play it, I give it the full test drive, and as soon as I was about to make my way up to the register and purchase it, it was mine right there, and I absolutely fell in love. These are one of the Squier classic vibe basses that are highly regarded up there with the Squier Fiesta Red basses, which I actually reviewed this year. Crazy how I've actually owned two of the iconic colors of the Squier Classic Vibe 60s Precision Bass in 2022. Unfortunately, I did not review the Sonic Blue version. However, I did do some nice cover videos. So this was a bass I found on my local OfferUp listing in the city of Anaheim. This was the standard Fender Precision Bass Made in Mexico series. I really loved how the bass felt, and that bass really shined with Rotosound steel strings. And I'm not really a big fan of stainless steel strings, but for some reason, stainless steel strings on that bass just sounded amazing. Next up was the Squier Vintage Modified Fretless Jazz Bass, which I actually reviewed on this channel with Nordstrand J-Blade pickups. That bass was really good for the money. However, their neck, I was having a huge issue on, to the point where I maxed out the truss rod and eventually I broke the truss rod. Yeah, I know, it sucked, but I ended up keeping the body, thinking that I can get a new neck from Warmoth and get a high quality neck from them. But over time, finances kind of came about and I had to prioritize. So off the body went to a Talk Bass Classifieds listing. I will revisit a fretless jazz bass, but from Harley Benton. These have to be one of my most favorite basses I have came up in 2022, and I regret letting them go. The Ibanez SR750. Wow. All I gotta say to you guys is wow. The fact, oh my gosh. See, this is this is gonna be a little rant. Ready? Go. I don't understand why Ibanez distributes such awesome looking basses just for them to be discontinued a couple months later. Okay, Ibanez, I get it. You're trying to produce as much quality, but then you just discontinue them like nothing. Ibanez, you gotta cut the shit out. Anyway, so the difference between the Ibanez SR750 and the SR650s is the SR750s, their body material is made out of ash as opposed to poplar or alder. I think it's alder on the SR650s. So again, you're going to have a more brighter punch to the 750 because of the ash body. Just look at this bass, the color, the grain, the back of the bass too. Okay, moving on to the next hot bass that I also regret getting rid of. This was a Guitar Center used find online. Whoever did this refinish, I applaud you. I really do. The fact that you had the balls to trade in this awesome refinished Squier vintage modified jazz bass, again, I applaud you. You must have traded in that bass for a really good bass, I hope. Look at this refinish, guys. Again, I regret getting rid of this bass. Not only that it sounded amazing, it just looked aesthetically cool. The hardware is a black hip shot to match with the black pickguard and the black inlay blocks. And I also forgot to mention the tuners were black tuners. Again, aesthetics in a bass are important, or at least to a few. I know they are to me. Here's the thing, if I look at a bass and it don't look aesthetically pleasing, I am not going to pick it up. But if that looks aesthetically pleasing, if that looks fine, like real fine, I gotta pick that up. I mean, that's kind of the point of buying an instrument and picking it up, right? Okay, so I scored real big on this purchase. This was from a Talk Bass Classifieds. I guess one of the owners had a Fender limited edition shell pink body that came out of those Fender shell pink basses with the all rosewood neck. So I guess he kept the rosewood neck but wanted to sell the body. And so right when I saw that listing, I automatically again snatched it up, and it became one of my favorite basses that I've actually used on a couple videos on TikTok. I actually had fun with it. I definitely got my money's worth playing that bass a lot and putting in a new neck. All I really did was fit in a Fender rosewood neck, and I just had fun with it. I left it at stock. I even left the electronic stock. I did no modifications because it just sounded good as is. And I believe the pickups on those are V-mods. Yeah, I believe they are the V-mod pickups. Again, sound real good stock, and I have no complaints on those. All right, so I gotta tell you guys, if you really wanna find great deals on basses, I highly recommend the Guitar Center used website. This is where I find 80 to 95% of my gems and review them on this YouTube channel, because what I'm about to show you is one of the most sickest finds ever off of the Guitar Center website. And that is the Squier Contemporary Active 5-string jazz bass. When I saw this listing, I literally had to go on my phone and zoom in on those pickups, and I realized, holy, these are Nordstrand pickups. And I'm looking at the price like, $249.99 for a Squier Contemporary Active jazz bass with Nordstrand pickups. That right there alone was an automatic, I'ma add this to the cart and hope nobody beat me to it. Now, because I came up on this bass, you know I had to do a review. And sure enough, is one of my most viewed videos on my channel. And I'm actually really glad that the result came out to be like that, because quite honestly, those Squier Contemporary jazz basses, they're actually really good basses. I love the roasted maple neck feature. I believe Squier should do more of that. However, they really do got to step up on the QC on those. I did, however, had problems with these tuners and how hard these were to turn and tune the pitch as I was stringing this bass. But with a bit of time and patience on my end, I had to disassemble each tuner and apply some oil lubricant to have them turn without any stress. I believe something like that should be taken care of. But you know, again, this is Squier we're talking about. But anyway, that's actually one instrument I kind of wish I kept longer, because they were plans I had initially for swapping out the stock electronics. Now, at the time I had owned this bass, I was shopping for a Sadowski preamp that I wanted to add on to that instrument. But at that time, Sadowski was going through some troubles with their preamps, and they pulled them out of the shop. And it just became impossibly hard to find, even online and through third parties and other people that I'm trying to source around through threads if they're willing to sell me theirs. And it just became a whole mess to where I didn't want to keep that bass any longer, and I ended up selling it for the price I paid for. So this was a Squier Affinity Jazz bass in Burgundy Mist. Once I saw the color for these Squier Affinity Jazz basses, I was enamored. I was floored. The fact that Squier came back with that color. The last I've seen of that color was when Fender dropped a PJ bass of that color in Burgundy Mist. I believe they called it Penny, like it was a weird color code that they named on that Fender PJ bass. And the fact that Squier came out with that color, it was like, I had to get it. I bought it stock. I've done so many modifications of that instrument to the point where that bass has been abused with a bunch of parts. I kid you not. I went from different necks to different pickups, and I've even swapped pick guards. I've done so much to that bass where it just got abused. I unfortunately don't own that bass anymore. However, I would love to revisit that bass in 2023 and do it all over again. Because quite honestly, I really had fun. I really enjoyed modifying that Squier Affinity Jazz bass, especially in that color. As of today, December 30th, 2022, Harley Benton has sold out the Burgundy Mist jazz bass that I've been wanting to get. So if anything changes over 2023 where Harley Benton restock those, then I'm gonna go more that route. As of now, my money is on the Squier Affinity Jazz bass in Burgundy Mist. And last but not least, one of the kings of budget basses in the world, Harley Benton MV4MSB. Oh, this was actually my first experience buying a Harley Benton bass. I hopped on the hype train that everyone was talking about on YouTube, and I said, I gotta get me one of these bad boys. I loved the fact that when I got this bass, I wasn't expecting so much from it because I've heard so many mixed reviews. But when I got this instrument and I pulled it out of the box, I was amazed of the fretwork, because normally when you buy something that is budget, you're going to have some like filing that you need to do on the neck. But this was perfect. Like, oh my God, I didn't have to do any fret filing. I didn't have to do any of that stuff to where I was afraid of doing, because I'm not a fan of filing frets. They take forever. I normally go to my trusty tech for that locally to do all that work. But man, I was just like, what? Oh, and then the matching headstock too. It's like, oh my gosh. Thank you for sticking around this video. I know I'm fairly new here, and so far the community have been welcoming. So I want to thank you all that took a chance with me and subbed to this channel. I very much appreciate you and look forward to reviewing a lot of instruments in 2023. Oh, how could I forget? 2023 NAMM is coming up in April, and I am really excited to do a lot of coverage like I did in 2022 and see some familiar faces again. Anyway, my name is Sono Jono, and have a happy new year everyone. See you in 2023.